time, I just wanted to get it off my chest. I was so glad that I did, though. It was the best thing that I could have done. And so now, um, watching that video, recognizing that I'm just not the same person that I was 3.5 years ago. I'm a completely different person. And I'm so grateful to say that because I'm such in a better place than I was when I made that video. I was scared. I could hardly say HIV out loud, let alone that I was positive and living with it. But I'm very grateful for the journey that I've experienced. So let's start from right after that video was made. I made that in March of 2018. In December of the year following, at the end of 2017, I launched the chapter for Minorities for Medical Marijuana in Georgia. I stayed in that role as state director for the chapter in Georgia through 2018. I was just getting comfortable with saying HIV, and now I talk about it all the time. But November of that year of 2018, I got my first brand ambassador job with the Green Heart. And I flew to Oakland, California for my first time and attended my first cannabis conference, which was called New West Summit. And then January of 2019, I was the guest speaker at a legalization rally in Trinidad and Tobago. It was my first international speaking gig, and it was fantastic. It was so much fun. Shout out to my Cannabis and You and Nazma Muller and Empress Q and my Amor family, all mentions of Rastafari. So grateful to continue to work with you all in the capacity that I've been able to as a consultant. I'm so grateful that I get to be a part of the conversation that is happening when it comes to legalization in the country of Trinidad and Tobago. It's where I intend to retire. So I'm going through the process of getting my citizenship of Trinidad and Tobago. In April of 2019, I moved cross country to the wonderful city of Las Vegas. My mom and my sister drove with me, packed up my Toyota Corolla and drove with me cross country. That was a great experience for us to have together. The cannabis community in Vegas is small. It's not as big and spread out like California. And so the first few months, I was immersing myself in all of the advocacy meetings and meeting new advocates that worked in the cannabis community. I attended Las Vegas NORML meetings. I attended CEIC meetings. That's Aisha Goins' organization, Cannabis Equity Inclusion Coalition. So just met some really fantastic people. I had my first cannabis experiences like 420 in California, which was amazing. This was just a few weeks after Nipsey was killed. And so I got to experience what it's like in LA, in downtown LA, in Inglewood and in Crenshaw, where he's from. And so I got to experience 420 for the first time in California, in a legal state, which was fantastic. I also attended my first sesh in Oakland. If you don't know what a sesh is, those are pop-up shops for the legacy market in a legal state. And so I got to attend my first sesh in Oakland in 2019. I also experienced my first legal consumption lounge here in Las Vegas. It's owned by Nuwu Dispensary, and it is also who is owned by the Paiute tribe, which is a local indigenous tribe here in Vegas. So that was fantastic. I got to attend my first ArcView conference that same year, in the fall of that same year in New York City, with Roz, the founder of M4MM. who has become my mentor and soundboard and everything that has to do with cannabis and some other things. But Roz invited me to that ArcView conference. That was the first place that I met my mentors, the Knox doctors. I got to meet Dr. Janice Knox, Dr. Rachel Knox, and Dr. Jessica Knox, which was such an honor. And I set the intention that I would be working with them, and that has come to fruition. By January of 2020, we all thought that it was going to be a fantastic year, especially after MJ BizCon at the end of 2019, which is where I hosted our first M4MM Dice Mixer event in the Penthouse at the Palms, which was great. Went off without a hitch. And so really excited about what 2020 was going to bring. But as we know, as we can recall, 2020 was a dud. And so by March of that year, I came back to Georgia to spend time with my mom while the country was shutting down and everybody was losing their minds. And so I spent some time back in Georgia. Not what I like to do these days. I don't like to spend any time in a non-legal state. And so after the summer kind of died down, and I came back to Vegas and continued the work that needed to be done here. And I also decided that I could no longer just play with my health. I had to take it seriously. I had to take on the task of healing my body, especially with a global pandemic ensued. I knew that I would no longer be able to go back and forth with healing, with the process of healing. I had to stick to it. I had to be consistent with it. And so I made that commitment last summer. It has really been an awakening for me, this pandemic. And I'm grateful that I'm living through these times, get to witness these times. I feel like a lot of us as human beings went through an awakening about our health through the pandemic, and those of us who didn't, unfortunately, will probably suffer the most. But for those of us who did, we're taking our health very seriously, and I'm grateful to be a part of that tribe that has developed a sense of how important it is to stay healthy and keep your immune system strong. October of 2020, I was nominated to be Director of Medical Voices for the newly formed Chamber of Cannabis here in Las Vegas, led by the wonderful Tina Ullman, who I also met while working at Las Vegas Normal, going to Las Vegas Normal meetings. So I'm grateful to work alongside her and the other strong women at the Chamber of Cannabis to help develop a strong cannabis community here in Las Vegas. So that was January or October of 2020. By January of 2021, I received my first ancestral reading. And if I cannot express enough how valuable that has been for me, getting an ancestral reading by Jaleh Boyd Phillips is her name. She's a super talented sister that helped me connect with my spirit guides and my ancestors. So I was really excited to get that reading done. I recommend it to anyone. The same month, January of this year, I was promoted to Western Regional Director within the organization, within M4MM. So when I moved here in 19, I started my own chapter, or I started the chapter for Nevada. And so in January, the last 9 months, I have been working as Western Regional Director. So I manage 8 states in the region for the organization: California, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Oklahoma, Washington, Colorado, and Hawaii. So it's really exciting work. I'm very grateful to be a part of this organization. The same year, this year, at the beginning of this year, it has been quite an amazing experience, learning spiritually how to connect with my ancestors. And so I decided that I was not going to waste any more time and be honest with myself about where I am spiritually. And that has opened up so many doors for me. So dig deep into your spiritual nature, because we are all just spiritual beings having a human experience. And that's what it comes down to. The July of this year, I was nominated as board of director for Association of Cannabis Health Equity and Medicine, known as ACHEM. That was started by the Knox doctors. So I manifested that, get to work with them. I began my 40th chapter a little over a month ago. And in the last video that went viral, I mentioned I did not want to be on dialysis when I was 40. And I wanted to be well on my way to healing by the time I was 40. And that, setting those intentions and watching them manifest has been amazing. I am a walking testimony that is possible, that you can do it as well. I know that being able to manifest is something that anyone can do. You just have to put your mind to it. And so it's quite possible. My birthday gift to myself was taking an 8-course class with Jaleh, a chakra class teaching about the numerous chakras that we have on our bodies, the energetic spheres, the energy that vibrates throughout our bodies, learning how to harness them and learning how to heal them, and learning more about how to connect with my ancestors. Her teaching me how to do it myself, connecting with them, communing with them. That's probably been the most valuable part of taking that course. And I'm so grateful that I got a chance to do it. One of the first things that I learned is that my superpower is joy. I have an overwhelming abundance of it. And the superpower is that I get to share it so easily with others. It just comes naturally to me. So I've really been tapping into my superpower being joy. Really excited about that. I am committed to fortifying my immune system and listening to my body on what it needs for fuel. I've been feeding my soul what it needs and learning to sit and commune with my ancestors, and it has just been an amazing journey. Taking earthing and grounding breaks daily to keep me connected to source. I have found a great nutrition coach. I'm going to share that with everyone step by step, what that process looks like. But Chef Nico is a nutrition coach that I've met along the way, and he's going to be helping me with these steps that I need to take into the right foods that I need to be consuming. And so I'm really excited to share that with you all. One of the things that I've grown to love since moving to the desert is hiking. No oceans around here for me to go play in. I love playing and admiring the great outdoors, and I have taken up boxing as a new aerobic workout. Super excited about that. I have Coach Noy that's helping me with that process here in Las Vegas. Cannabis Connection World was the brand that I created that I mentioned in that first video. And I officially rebranded it to Purple Plant Magic last month, or this month in September. And Purple Plant Magic, what is it? I get that a lot. Purple Plant Magic is a plant medicine advocate lifestyle brand. Our mission is to provide education and resources to empower individuals and caretakers of individuals that have received a life-changing diagnosis and are looking for a holistic approach to managing, treating, and healing their bodies. We also create custom curriculums for cannabis brands to educate their staff and for members of community programs. Purple Plant Magic consults on international and national policy in regards to social equity and justice in the legal cannabis marketplace. So I share all that just to say, give you an update about what Nicole is doing 4 years later after making that first video. I thank you for sticking with me. I thank you for standing by me. I thank you for allowing me to help uplift you and empower you as I give you an idea of what my journey has been like. So thank you so much for allowing me to share this journey with you. Stay tuned because there's some really exciting things happening. And I want to show you step by step what my daily routine is of what I'm eating and how I'm moving, what type of exercise I'm doing, and give you an idea of how you can implement some of these things in your lifestyle, in your healthy lifestyle, as you embark on your journey to healing. So I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing this space with me. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. And the journey continues, so stay tuned.